dear listeners. I hope you are well and doing good for your family. My purpose here is to educate you about how to manage piggery scientifically so that you can earn more and keep your family happy and healthy. So let us start to talk about scientific pig rearing. But you have to listen carefully and enthusiastically because I'm here to bring smile on your faces through piggery. Pig farming has immense potential to generate employment, income, food, and nutritional security for rural development. The contribution of pork to the total meat production in the country is about 4.98%, and in the Nagaland alone, pork accounts for almost 49% of total meat production. Pigs are the most prolific among domestic animals with high dressing percentage of 65 to 80%. Pig can utilize wide variety of feedstuffs like grain, forages, damaged feeds and garbages and convert them into quality animal protein for human consumption. Pig farming provides quick return since the marketable weight of fatteners can be achieved within a period of 8 to 9 months. Short generation interval owing to attaining sexual maturity at about 8 months of age and a gestational period of 114 days. It can farrow 2 times in a year and produce 20 to 30 piglets per year. Pig has second highest feed conversion ratio next to broiler chickens. Pig fish integrated farming can also be incorporated since pig dung acts as a pond fertilizer and also increases biological productivity of the pond. Hence, pig farming is very much profitable and lucrative enterprise for the youth. Now I will tell you about improved breeds of pig. Among the improved breeds of pig are large white Yorkshire, Tamworth, Hampshire and Duroc. All these are exotic breeds but have a good growth rate and large litter size. There are many indigenous pig breeds like Ghungru, Nian Megha, Tenivo, Zowak Chambal, Gurra, Agoa Gonda, etc. These breeds are reared under the low input system for their unique meat taste. Ghungru is very docile with a good growth rate and large litter size. Some pig breeds are developed under AICRP pig such as Lumxiang, Rani, Asha, Jharsuk, Goya, HDK 75, Doom, etc. These are much popular choices due to their adaptability to local conditions and resistance to diseases. Indigenous pig breeds exhibit superior traits such as high fertility, good mothering abilities, and efficient feed conversion rates, which make piggery well suited for small-scale farming operations. After talking about the improved breeds of pig, now I will give you the information about the type of houses required for pigs. A proper housing to be constructed to protect the pigs against the extreme weather condition and to provide proper hygienic conditions for maintaining health of the animal. A well-ventilated house with proper flooring and drainage is very much important for preventing disease outbreaks and promoting optimal growth of pig. Additionally, access to clean water and nutritious feed should be prioritized to meet the dietary requirement of pigs. The pigs, according to different age group, to be housed in different pens. Boar to be housed in individual stall. One boar require 6 to 7 meter square covered space and 8.8 to 12 meter square open paddock. Dry sow or gilt can be housed together in a smaller farm. However, on a large farm, they should be housed separately. One dry sow or gilt require 1.8 to 2.7 meter square covered space and 1.4 to 1.8 meter square open paddock. In one pen, 3 to 10 animals can be housed. In one pen, 3 to 10 animals can be housed. Individual sow require 7 to 9 meter square covered space and 8.8 to 12 meter square open paddock. Fattener require 1.3 to 1.8 meter square covered space and 1.3 to 1.8 meter square open paddock. In one pen, maximum 30 fattener animals can be housed. Generally, the pregnant sow are transferred to farrowing cum nursing sty 2 weeks before the due date and left till the nursing period. The space should be enough for the sow to sleep and the piglets to move around. Guardrail to be provided with a height of 25 cm above the ground level to avoid piglets from getting crushed. For housing the fattened pigs for market, around 15 to 30 pigs can be housed in each pen of fattening pig sty according to the age. The weaned piglets to be housed in a weaner piglet sty for up to 6 months of age. Now I will talk about the feed and water trough requirements for different category of pig. For the boar, the feeding and watering trough is required of 60 to 75 cm in length. For sow and litter, the feeding and watering trough is required of 75 to 100 cm in length. For fattening pig, the feeding and watering trough is required of 30 to 40 cm in length. For weaner, the feeding and watering trough is required of 20 to 30 cm in length. Dear farmers, a balanced diet and nutrition is very much important for the growth and development of pigs. So please listen about the feeding practices for pig carefully. Locally available feed ingredients such as rice bran, maize, soybean meal and kitchen waste can be used to prepare cost-effective feeds for the pig. Researchers has developed different types of feed formulas which are used to prepare the feed for the pig according to their age, weight and stage of development and breed. For best possible nutrition, feeds must be tailored to the specific need at different age and production stage of pig. So accordingly, there are different type of feed to be prepared. These are creep feed or starter feed, weaner feed, grower feed, fattener and breeder feed. Now let us know in details about different type of feed for pigs. First is the creeper or starter feed. This feed is fed to the youngest and suckling piglets aged between 2 to 8 weeks. Creep feed can be fed to piglet from 7 to 10 days after farrow or birth. Next is the weaner feed. This pig diet is specifically for young weaned piglet from 6 weeks of age to attainment of 20 kg body weight. Another one is grower feed. This diet is for young pigs that weigh over 20 kg or are aged 10 weeks until they attain 35 to 40 kg body weight. And the last one is the fattener feed. This feed is given to the pigs that are over 40 kg in body weight until they reach the marketable body weight, which is around 90 to 100 kg. Now we will talk about nutrient requirements in type of feed. Different feed required specific quantity of crude protein and metabolizable energy for pig. In a starter feed, the quantity of crude protein should be up to 20%. In grower feed, the crude protein should be up to 18%. In finisher feed, the crude protein should be up to 16%. Whereas metabolizable energy in terms of kilocalorie per kg, it should be 3,360 in starter feed, 3,170 each should be in grower and finisher feed. talk about water requirement of pig. Clean drinking water should be given to the pig. Water requirement for pigs is related to the feed intake and body weight. Pigs consume about 1.5 to 20 liters of water, as much water as feed. The requirement of water is increased in case of high salt intake, high temperature, fever and diarrhea. Now the information about feed formulation for pig. If feed is prepared at home, it can be very economical and best in quality. For preparation of 100 kg of starter ration, it will require maize 55 kg, groundnut cake 14 kg, brewer's dry grain 13 kg, soyabean meal 9 kg, fish meal 5 kg, bone meal 2.5 kg, salt 0.5 kg and methionine 1 kg. Now you will listen how to prepare Grover ration for pig. Grover ration includes ground yellow maize 72.57 kg, soyabean meal 24.1 kg, calcium carbonate with 30% calcium 0.80 kg, dicalcium phosphate 1.2 kg, iodized salt 0.5 kg, trace mineralized salt 0.08 kg, vitamin mixture 0.75 kg. Now, the information about the type of ingredients required to prepare the finisher ration for pigs. Finisher ration include ground yellow maize 84.20 kg, soyabean meal 12.80 kg, calcium carbonate with 30% calcium 0.80 kg, dicalcium phosphate 1.05 kg, iodized salt 0.50 kg, traced mineralized salt 0.08 kg and vitamin mixture 0.05 kg. Dear farmers, now the information about non-conventional feed for pigs. A wide range of non-conventional feed for pig are found in northeast region. The native plants, leaves, stems and roots are diced up and fed either raw with kitchen scrap or boiled in a slurry made of broken rice, wheat bran, rice bran or combination of all of these. Feeding the pig unconventional feeds yet profitable to reduce the cost and potentially improve the quality of pork. Some of the unconventional feeds that can be considered for pig are vegetable and food surplus, brewery and distillery byproduct, restaurant and grocery store waste, silage, algae, insects, aquaculture byproduct, nut waste, surplus milk and food processing byproducts. When considering unconventional feeds, it's important to ensure that they are safe, nutritionally balanced and do not contain toxins or harmful substances. Some of the commonly found unconventional feed for pig in Northeast Himalayan region are tapioca, colocasia, sweet potato, pumpkin, banana, water hyacinth, hairy fig, papaya, paper mulberry, toothache plant and beggar tick. Dear listener, care and management of newborn piglets are very much important in piggery. So listen about the pertinent management practices to be followed for newborn piglets. Soon after the birth, the piglets should be wiped dry with soft, dry cloth or cotton. Fetal membrane or mucus that block the mouth and nostril should be promptly removed. The navel of piglets to trimmed short after putting the ligation and apply the antiseptic solution over it. Piglets should be provided with a warm environment as their body temperature regulation system is not fully developed. For initially 1 week, environment temperature should be maintained from 35 to 37 degrees Celsius. The needle teeth of piglets may be nipped off with the help of side cutters or clippers to prevent injury to the source udder. Every piglet should receive colostrum from the mother. A pig brooder should be provided inside the farrowing pen to protect and prevent piglet from chilling in cold areas. Hence, the provision of piglet box should be made. Hypoglycemia is a very common and threatening condition in the newborn piglets. It is characterized by off-fed, shivering, and staggering gait. Such animals should be fed with glucose in warm water. Iron deficiency is also common in piglets, which is known as piglet anemia. It is characterized by a low hemoglobin and red blood cell count, pale mucous membrane, restlessness, and irregular breathing. Iron supplement in the form of iron dextran injection on 4th and 15th day at the rate of 100 to 200 mg per piglet is essential to prevent piglet anemia. Now the information about the care of pigs during winter. Pigs, when persistently housed below their thermal neutral zone, they experience cold stress, which leads to reduced feed efficiency, stunted growth rates, poor feed conversion ratio, and increased feed intake. Specifically in suckling and young growing pigs, maintaining the temperature is of importance as they lack adipose, which prevent them to generate body heat from fat as an energy reserve. During winter, additional heat to be provided in order to combat the environmental stress. Artificial heat may be provided to pigs by using infrared lamp, ordinary electric bulb to avoid death due to chilling. Dear farmers, healthcare and disease management in pigs are of paramount importance. Proper health management operation to prevent disease outbreaks, minimize production losses, and ensure food safety are very much important. Disease prevention and management is a significant challenge for pig farmers in Northeast region, since this region is surrounded by the international boundaries of China, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar, and Nepal. The major diseases of pigs are classical swine fever, African swine fever, foot and mouth disease, hemorrhagic septicemia, and porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome. The common disease and health problems of pigs such as swine fever, respiratory infections, parasitic infestation have devastating effects on pig population, causes significant economic losses if not promptly diagnosed and treated. The pig farmers should ensure the effective vaccination program, biosecurity measures, and regular health monitoring. Dear farmers, the major diseases of pigs are classical swine fever, African swine fever, porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome, foot and mouth disease, swine influenza, porcine epidemic diarrhea, transmissible gastroenteritis, salmonellosis, mycoplasma pneumonia, and swine dysentery. All these diseases are caused by virus and bacteria. All these diseases can be prevented by regular vaccination, biosecurity measure, isolation of sick animals, good hygiene and sanitation practices, avoidance of contaminated feed and water resources. In case of occurrence of any disease, it is advocated to contact nearby veterinarian for the treatment at the earliest. Dear listeners, good herd biosecurity is essential to maintain good herd health and also for undertaking control of disease. There are many disinfectants which are used to maintain a good biosecurity in pig farms. One disinfectant is bleaching powder, which is used in case of occurrence of contagious disease and also for sterilization of water supply in animal house. Bleaching powder should contain not less than 30% available chlorine and its mode of application is dusting in animal house. Another disinfectant is lime, which is used for sprinkling on manure and animal discharges on the floor as a whitewash. Its mode of application is in form of sprinkling, scrubbing or dusting. Biosecurity measures can be implemented in two ways. One is biocontainment or internal biosecurity, which includes the efforts to prevent the spread of disease within the herd or in a farm. Another biosecurity mean is bioexclusion or external biosecurity, which includes the effort to prevent the introduction of a disease in the farm. Another measure of biosecurity measures are limit the entry of people to the farm, do not allow anyone to enter the farm unless it is essential to farm operations. Use a logbook to keep a record of visitor. Instruct visitor to wash their hand and change clothing and footwear before entering the farm. The vehicle for transportation of pig to be carefully cleaned and disinfected. Newly bought stock of pig to be quarantined and acclimatized from 15 to 30 days. Avoid overcrowding of pig in the farm. Provide isolation pens to separate healthy and sick pigs. Remove dead pigs from the pen and bury them immediately. Ensure different farm personnel are in charge of sick or healthy animals. Keep the farm equipment clean and disinfected. Dear listeners, it was about how to maintain biosecurity measures in pig farms. Now I will talk about breeding and reproduction management of pig. You know that efficient breeding practices play a significant role in maximizing the productivity of a pig. The pig farmer should use improved breeding practices for improving the desirable trait such as growth rate, meat quality, and disease resistance. Proper estrus detection, mating management, and timely intervention by trained personnel are essential for ensuring successful reproduction and maintaining a healthy breeding herd. Scientific breeding and mating using artificial insemination straw of high quality sire will enhance the genetic diversity of the pig farms. Artificial insemination technique has numerous advantages. Artificial insemination helps in maximum utilization of good sire. Through use of a proven sire, artificial insemination brings genetic improvement in the herd. Artificial insemination reduces risk of venereal diseases and it also decreases breeding expenses. Dear listeners, artificial insemination to be practiced very carefully and to be done by the trained AI inseminator, although I am describing the procedure of artificial insemination in pig. The procedure in sequences are: clean the vulva with a clean, dry paper towel. Part the lips of the vulva with one hand and gently insert the catheter into the vagina, pushing forwards and upward. Advance until resistance is felt. If using the golden pig catheter, push the catheter into the cervix and you will feel it pop in. Get the semen from the storage container and resuspend by gently rotating the bottle or cocket. Cut off the tip of a bottle or open the cocket and place on the catheter. Lift the catheter and apply gentle pressure to fill the catheter and begin the insemination. Once the container is empty, it can be removed. Don't force air down the catheter. The catheter can be removed by clockwise rotation. Check the tip of catheter for blood and record if found. Dear farmers, just now you have listened about the breeding and reproduction management in pig, including artificial insemination. Now please listen about the record keeping management in pig farms. Record keeping in a farm is essential to keep all details of animals and can be easily accessed as and when required. Record keeping helps in preparing pedigree and history record of animals. It helps in accessing the past records and designing better breeding plan to check inbreeding, selecting superior parents, and help in better replacement and culling practices. It helps in analyzing feed cost and benefits. There are various types of records such as livestock register to record the number of animal at the farm along with their identification number, date of birth, animal number, piglets and its sex, date of farrowing, date of purchase, date of sale or auction or death. Next is breeding record to maintain the details of breeding practices in the farm such as sow number, date of farrowing, date of heat and services along with the boar or sire number, date of successful service, expected date of farrowing, litter size, etc. Another is a farrowing record to maintain the record of farrowing that take place in the farm. It maintains boar and sow number, piglets number, sex and its date of birth and any other remark like type of farrowing, normal or abnormal. Other records are herd health record, feeding record, mortality record and asset record. Asset record contain the information about overall asset in the farm which aid in estimating the net worth. Dear listener, this was the scientific information about pig farming. It is specifically designed for the pig farmer for their technological empowerment about piggery. Our purpose is to raise the income and generate the employment in the rural areas by adopting the pig farming. So, bye now. See you once again with a new information for all of you. Have a good day.